Hello, everybody. Today we are going to talk about ethos, pathos, and logos, understanding rhetoric and persuasive or rhetorical devices. Okay, I think that we have probably talked about this before in previous years, but we're going to just review and kind of reiterate this so we can figure out the rhetorical appeals that are used in the Declaration of Independence and other documents and texts that we're going to read this year. So make sure that you have your note sheet also open. I suggest splitting your screen, okay? So what is rhetoric? Rhetoric is a noun, the art of speaking or writing effectively. What does effectively mean to you? So Aristotle, this guy, was born in 384 BCE and died in 322 BCE. He was a Greek philosopher and scientist. I think most of you have heard of Aristotle. He was one of the great ancient philosophers. He tutored Alexander the Great. He wrote On Rhetoric in 350 BCE, and he was considered the father of rhetoric, or persuasion, okay? So according to Aristotle, there are three modes of persuasion: ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos is the appeal to ethics and credibility. It's based on the speaker or the author. Is the author reliable and credible? Is the author knowledgeable? Do they know what they're talking about? Do they have research that's not from Wikipedia to help prove their point, right? Pathos appeals to emotions. So, based on how the text makes the reader or audience feel, how does the text make the audience feel is what you need to be asking. Okay? And logos is the appeal to logic and reason. So, based on facts, research, and evidence, how do the facts and evidence support the claim? And feel free to pause my video when you need to write anything down in your notes. So, ethos or ethics. Ethos is an effective argumentative and persuasive strategy because when the audience believes that the author is knowledgeable and genuine, the audience is more willing to listen and be persuaded, okay? So you need to ask these questions to determine if the persuasive device used is ethos. Does the writer or speaker seem trustworthy? Does the writer or speaker seem knowledgeable? And how does the writer or speaker establish credibility and authority? So, Miss Brown, an English teacher, probably can't walk into a room and say that I am the highest authority on barbecue sauce because I like barbecue sauce. No, I'm not a professional taste tester. I'm not a developer of barbecue sauce, right? So that doesn't establish my credibility and authority, okay? Here's some examples. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from the Birmingham jail, so good, I hope that you've read it, is effective because he established credibility as an African American male who was in jail. It was authentic and real, okay? When a trusted doctor gives your medical advice, you usually follow it, even if you do not understand the medical reasoning behind it or the terminology, right? This is because you trust the doctor. They're educated, they know what they're supposed to be doing, so you trust them with your medical care. Logos, or the appeal to logic. Logos is an effective, argumentative, and persuasive strategy because when the audience is presented with factual, researched evidence supporting the claims, the audience is more likely to consider the claims valid. Logos is much more important in argumentative writing than it is in persuasive writing. We don't do a lot of persuasive writing, to be honest, in high school. We focus on arguments, right? And, we have our claim, our reasons, our evidence. So we will be mostly focusing on argumentative essays, but it's not as focused in persuasive writing, okay? So ask these questions to determine if the rhetorical appeal used is logos. What claim is the author or speaker arguing? Is the author or speaker's evidence relevant? Does the author or speaker include logical fallacies in his or her argument? What evidence does the author or speaker use to support his or her claim? So this is logic. Where is the research coming from? Is it cited? Right? Is it relevant? Does it make sense? Okay? And here's an example. Any argument that includes logical and relevant evidence. So anything that has any research data, quotes, facts, statistics, events, include logos, okay? Now, pathos is last. It is an effective, persuasive strategy because the audience may accept claims based on how the text makes them feel, rather than factual data. Pathos is much more important in persuasive writing than it is in argumentative writing. However, because persuasive writing is more like persuading somebody to get on your side versus presenting them the facts and letting them choose. But pathos is still going to be relevant when you're finding arguments, and it's going to be relevant when we're reading historical documents, right? Pathos should be used sparingly in argumentative writing. So you shouldn't say, oh, do you want to be a good friend? Well, the only way to be a good friend is if you give your friend water bottles every single day and you're arguing about that, right? That is appealing to your emotions because you want to be a good friend, but that's not, you don't want to talk about that all the time, right? You want your logic and your ethics to really stand out. So ask these questions to determine if pathos is the rhetorical device that you're seeing in any writing or you're using. Does the author or speaker appeal to your emotions? Are they trying to make you feel something? What feelings do you feel when reading the text? What feelings are these evoking in you, okay? And how did the writer establish or create a relationship with you? Did they say, hey, I know you. You are just like me when I was in 11th grade, right? Are they trying to establish an emotional bond through their writing? Here's an example. Lee Greenwood's song, God Bless the USA, became very popular after the September 11 attacks, empathizing with a friend who was experiencing a breakup. These are both things that evoke emotion, okay? So which one is it? You cannot put a price on your safety. That is why you should buy the state-of-the-art home security system. So think, what do you think this is? Ethos, pathos, or logos? Pathos, right? It's evoking an emotion of wanting to be safe when they're trying to sell you something. Our company has been around for almost 150 years. We are the industry's leader when it comes to engines. Ethos, pathos, logos. Ethos, right? It's selling or adding that credibility, right? Almost 150 years. So they know what they're doing, right? As a country, we should invest in public education because children are our future. We need to invest in children, in our future. Which one do you think? Ethos, right? Because it is showing what we should be doing as a country, okay? Despite consumer resistance. Also, let's just go back. This also is pathos because it evokes emotion when it says children are our future, right? So anyway, despite consumer resistance, companies continue to test products on animals because studies show that animal testing is safe and reliable. It's talking about studies, so which one do you think that is? Yes, logos, appealing to logic, okay? The young mother has trouble providing her small children with clothing and food. She is an excellent mother who does her best, but sometimes she has a difficult time making ends meet. Is that appealing to your emotions, ethics, or logic? Right, it's appealing to your emotions, so that's pathos. After looking at several studies that highlight the benefit of later start times for teenagers, the school district has decided to push back high school start times to 9 a.m. Which one do you think? Logos, right? After looking at studies, that logic. So adding in other persuasive techniques. Remember, you want more fact-based evidence for argumentative writing. However, it is helpful to know persuasive techniques. So here's some. We got facts and statistics. That goes with logos, right? Celebrity testimonials. That will go with ethos because people are more likely to trust a celebrity or a familiar face. We have the bandwagon approach. So everybody's doing it. You should do it too. Fear-mongering. If you don't do this, then your house is going to be broken into, right? Glittering generalities. This is just a general term, okay? Loaded words that make you think, oh, crap, right? Expert testimonial. That's ethos again, right? You have a PhD in your field. I need to listen to you, right? And repetition. Saying the same thing over and over again. Oh, I didn't realize this was here. So research information and evidence gives the author credibility and provides logical connections for the audience with facts and statistics. Celebrity testimonials. People are more likely to act on emotions when they see a celebrity. If you see the same face wash if you use the same face wash as a celebrity, you too will look that great, right? If everyone else is doing it, you do it. That's bandwagon. Fear-mongering, creating fear in someone to convince them to believe in something they otherwise might not, or to convince them to buy a certain product, or else something bad might happen, right? It's that or else piece with fear-mongering. Glittering generalities, using positive and glittery loaded words so that people feel good about their beliefs, purchases, and opinions. Loaded words. When the author, speaker, or advertiser carefully chooses their words, which is called diction, word choice, to create a certain and oftentimes emotional response from the audience. Expert testimonial that establishes credibility, and repetition. Repeating things over and over again will help people remember things, and it may also evoke certain feelings in the audience. So here's a little triangle. So logos, a sensible and logical argument built on relevant and sufficient evidence. So facts and statistics, claims based on general logic. Pathos, arguments built in a way that will evoke certain emotions in the audience. So celebrity testimonials, the bandwagon approach, fear-mongering, glittering generalities, loaded words and repetition. And lastly, ethos, a well-researched and thoroughly developed argument, such as expert testimonials, trustworthiness, and credibility. Okay? Appeals. These three rhetorical appeals make up the rhetorical triangle. So ethos, pathos, logos. Did that do something? Oh, it's changing the color. All right. So go ahead and work on those examples on your own that I have included. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to help. Okay, I'm also going to post this just as its own document so you can look through it if you'd like. All right.